Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out a new RunCam FPV camera. This is called the Sparrow, and it's a 16 by 9 camera, PAL NTSC switchable. We have audio, VBAT sensor there, so it'll do an OSD probably. And we have 5236 volt voltage range. So you got a little port here for an OSD cable and a microphone, so obviously records audio on board. We have a 2.1 millimeter lens here, and I think it's a 150 degree field of view. Yep, so here it is, 150 degree field of view. They didn't tell me a whole lot about this model. They didn't come with any instructions in the box, so I'm not sure if this is CCD or CMOS, but I'm going to open this up and we'll look at the processor in here. It kind of reminds me of this other camera that I reviewed, this Eugene C800T camera, and it's advertised as a CCD 16.9 camera, but the sensor, or I'm sorry, and we weren't sure what the sensor was, but when we looked at the processor for the sensor, apparently that one only does CMOS, so this is advertised as CCD, but it's being sold as CMOS. Now, I have no idea what RunCam is advertising this as, because there's not that, this model isn't on their website yet, so I don't know if it's being advertised as CMOS or CCD. And if it's CMOS, I'm wondering why they're making another one of these 16.9s competing with itself, with the Eagle and the Eagle 2. That's a bit confusing. If it's truly a CCD 16.9, then that would be kind of interesting as well. But we'll find out here in a second. Anyway, quickly, what else we get in the box? Screws, mounting stuff, nuts. You get an OSD joystick here. That's nothing special. Every RunCam comes with that. And you get your video cables and also another cable here which does your voltage sensing, and looks like another one for audio. And then we got a little OSD pigtail. It's all standard stuff here. Got a different back here if you want some different mounting for your camera for the Sparrow, and then you got a different, I guess it's a spare case. Yeah, this is the case that goes with this one, because this case is the one that has the 3 screw holes on the side. Usually they put this case on the camera, and this is the spare one, so it's kind of different. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this up, and then we'll take a look inside and see what kind of sensor is in there. And I probably won't have any idea what it is, but I'll look it up on the internet. Okay, so I got the back off here. We can see the back of the camera. Obviously there's the microphone. I'm not sure if this will come on the camera, but this chip here it reads HDI 8901H. So HDI 8901H, and I did a quick research on Google, and some of the things I saw indicate that it's a CMOS sensor. So yeah, this is probably something, maybe a different kind of technology that RunCam is using that is maybe cheaper than what the Eagle is going to be. I have no idea what the pricing is going to be on this one, so that's the only thing I can think of is why they would come out with a CMOS 16.9 camera that's competing against their own camera. Maybe it's coming at a lower cost point. And here is the sensor itself. Let's see if I can get that to focus. I'm not sure if that's a 4.3 or a 16.9 sensor. It's hard to tell just by looking at it. So if it's a 4.3, they might be doing some sort of image cropping, but it could also be a 16.9. I have no idea, but I'm just showing it to you guys, and you guys can debate as to what it might be. Okay, so I got the camera hooked up here to a video transmitter and transmitting to my monitor, and I have the OSD joystick connected as well. So I obviously don't have any instructions on this, so I'm gonna have to try and figure this out without any instructions. But you can see here it's got the standard RunCam OSD on the bottom here. You got your on time, pilot name, and your battery voltage there. This is just a little 3S battery. Image quality looks pretty decent, but I can already tell that the field of view is pretty narrow up and down. So I typically point the camera here to my right to the window, and I put the bottom at the bottom of the window here, and Like on the HS1177, I can see well above this clock, and usually with the GoPro lens I can see the little air vent and the ceiling there. But I'm just getting the bottom of the window and the top of the window here, so it's possible they're cropping the sensor here. Now the horizontal field of view looks okay. That looks about what HS1177 produces, so definitely I think the vertical field of view is reduced a little bit, at least with this setup and this lens. So I'm going to go into the OSD. I'm going to put the lens cap on here so you can see the OSD a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to turn off one of my lights here so there's no glare on the monitor. And this menu here looks kind of similar to the menu that comes up on the Fox ear cameras, which is kind of interesting. I'm going to bring that back in. So this is exposure, standard, BLC. So I think under BLC you can go here and you can change the intensity. I'm going to leave everything normal, but let's go over here and look at some of this. Shutter mode, auto. You can go to manual. You can go back to auto. Automatic gain control. Yeah, this looks very, very similar to a Fox ear OSD setup. Automatic white balance. I usually never touch that. Here's the image adjust menu, and you can see here all the settings here for your sharpness. I think HDNR is high dynamic or high digital noise reduction. I think that's noise reduction. So the rating numbers go from 0 to 100. You got contrast, saturation, R gain. Let's just get out of here. G gain, B gain. I don't know what those are. Let's go back. Let's see where we are next. Got day night set to EXT. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. You can do color, black and white, automatic. I'm going to leave it on the system default. That's what I'm going to actually run it at. Here's where you can change NTC to PAL. This is definitely looking a lot like the Fox ear menus. Very, very interesting. Output. Alright, return. What's bad pixel? Okay, I have no idea what that is. Privacy mask. Don't know what that is either. HLC. Not sure what that is either. Okay, we'll go to the next page. Wide dynamic range, and usually on the Fox ear cameras, I like it on either low or middle, so I'm gonna leave it on middle since the default. It looks kind of weird when it's on high, at least on the Fox ear cameras it does. So go to the next one, and we're back to the main page. So I'm just gonna exit here. So that's what the camera settings look like. Now I'm wondering if we can move this stuff around. Usually on the RunCam cameras you press the joystick up and hold. There we go. Now we can get into the OSD setup here for your pilot name and your voltage and stuff, so we can turn those things on and off. This is no different than what I've seen before in the other RunCam, like the Swift 2. You've got your timer, voltage, baseline. So I'm going to leave everything on default. Version 1.2 down here for some reason. Maybe they've updated the version of the RunCam OSD, so we'll exit there. So I'm going to leave everything here where they are. Those are good spots for me. And at this point I'm going to go ahead and stick this on one of my drones, and we'll go ahead and get some flight footage. So before I show you the actual flight demo, I just want to show you a little bit of this low light footage. This is late in the day. You can see the sun's low in the sky, and like a lot of typical CMOS cameras, the ground's pretty dark and the sky's pretty blown out. So colors look okay, a little weird, but the light handling doesn't seem to be very good. Okay, so here's the actual flight demo, and a couple things I wanted to note. I elected to turn off the OSD inside the Sparrow. It works just like the one on the RunCam Swift 2 and also the Micro Swift 2. So the drone that I have on here has the Betaflight OSD, so I just decided to use the Betaflight OSD instead of the OSD in the Sparrow. Now I am flying on just the stock settings here, so the color reproduction is a little strange. There's some purple in the greens and browns in the greens down below in the grass. The green looks a little bit oversaturated, and then when you look at the sky, it's either totally blown out or white or too blue in my opinion. And of course, this is very subjective. Definitely the way the image is being handled by the Sparrow is completely different from the way it looks like in the Eagle, and so they're obviously using a completely different algorithm in terms of light handling and color reproduction. So if you're more comfortable with the Eagle, I think you'll find this to be very odd. I actually prefer the color reproduction in the Eagle, whereas a lot of people do not because they don't like the digital artifacting, but that doesn't seem to bother me. However, the way the image is being handled in the Sparrow seems to not to be to my liking. So if you don't like the way the Eagle handles the image, you might like the way the Sparrow handles it better. And of course, again, this is on stock settings, and I probably could go into all the settings and tweak them a little bit. Probably need to change the gains on the colors. I think the reds are too high, obviously, here. And I think the blues are also a little bit too much as well. I think just overall it looks too saturated to me, although some people may prefer the way this looks. So I think, again, it's very subjective. I think it just really depends on whether or not you like this kind of image. Now, I heard from Oscar Lang's review that the latency is really low on this camera. He said he measured it at 15 milliseconds. So if you're someone looking for a really low latency camera, this might be pretty good. I think that's even lower than the HS1177. Anyway, so let me know if you have any questions about this camera, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.